Hey, welcome back to Life on the Wrist. Hope you're doing well. Today I thought we would do a video of my ultimate watch collection if money was no object. This consists of 7 watches that I think I would want to have in my collection if I had all the money in the world to spend on watches. Now before we get into that, comment below what your 7 watches would be that you would want to have in your watch collection, or if you think you would want more, if you want less, tell us what your ultimate watch collection is. So when approaching this, obviously some people like to build collections around certain themes, making sure that they check certain boxes. I know, for example, some people think they need to have, a beater, a chronograph, a dress watch, etc. I tried to do that and I found that I wasn't really getting as much enjoyment out of building this collection. So these are 7 watches that really aren't following any path, but it's purely what I like, and I think that's what is watch collecting, right? You want to look at your wrist or look at your collection and say, I like every single one of these watches for a unique reason. It's not like I'm trying to check a box of having a dress watch, a diver, a chronograph, what have you. So these are the 7 watches. The first watch, I've made a video on this. It is a Rolex Daytona nicknamed Big Blue. It's reference 166528. It has a beautiful blue dial. It's a 18 karat gold case. And obviously it's a Daytona from Rolex, which is already pretty unique. But I think when it comes to watch collecting, you don't want to have the same collection as someone else, right? So if your watch collection consists of really rare watches, I think that plays into exactly what you want to do with your collection. So I like this watch because of, one, the blue dial is absolutely gorgeous. The way it meshes with that gold case is insane. And I also really like the fact that it's unique and rare, and only a few of these dials were made. So I think that's something that will set my collection apart from everyone else. The second watch is the Memosail Yacht Timer from the 70s. I own this watch currently, and I made a video about it. I'll put that link in the description. It is a yacht timer from the 70s that was my first vintage watch purchase. This watch will remain in my collection because I love the dial configuration. I like the story behind it, the fact that it was trying to compete with Heuer in the yacht timing space. And I also like the fact that it has that beautiful blue dial, and the fact that it was my first vintage watch purchase. I think I did a really great job of knowing exactly what I like and going after that, learning about it, and yeah, it will always be in my collection, and that's that. The third watch is a Tag Heuer Link Caliber 16 chronograph. This watch was a gift from my parents to me for my high school graduation. It's a very simple chronograph from Tag Heuer, has a modified ETA movement, and has a beautiful, unique bracelet that is an extremely comfortable bracelet, which is why they created this separate line to have this very unique and comfortable bracelet. Being that it was a gift from my parents, it has a very special place in my heart and will always be in my collection no matter what. There is no way I will get rid of it because it reminds me of my high school years, but also of my parents and how much they mean to me. And so they will be officially will always be a part of my watch collection. The fourth watch that I would have in my ultimate watch collection is the Vacheron Constantin Toledo. This is the square watch that kind of looks like a piece of chocolate. When I got into watches, I started watching a lot of videos on YouTube, and I stumbled across this video that Vacheron Constantin made about the Toledo and the history of Vacheron. So it basically took you on a journey of this gentleman who was getting his Toledo serviced in Geneva, and his version was the calendar version. I only want the time-only version, but it basically took you on the journey and taught you about the history of Vacheron Constantin and the care and time that they take with their clients. I really liked the fact that their clientele was extremely broad and full of history, and I would love to be a part of that history that Vacheron Constantin has. The fifth watch is the Lange & Sohne Lange 1. This is an extremely unique watch. The dial is extremely different than every other watch that you'll probably see. I really like the fact that the brand has gone through such a progression, and I really love the story about their they're going dormant and then coming back after World War II. And I think the Lange 1 really represents that company as a whole. I think it's something that I would love to look at my wrist, because when you're collecting watches, the first thing you're going to notice is the dial, right? Because that's where it's going to tell time. So I think I love the dial configuration. What's really cool is I could turn the watch over and wear it so that the back of it is facing up too, because it really does have a beautiful movement that has insane amount of finishing to it and time and care that's been taken by the craftsman to create this work of art. The sixth watch that I would have is the Patek Philippe 5196P. So this is the modern version of the Patek Philippe 570. The 570 is a lot more rare, but it is a very simple time-only watch from Patek Philippe. It has Breguet numbers and is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful and simplistic watches that's ever come out of Switzerland. Obviously, when I was getting into watches, I stumbled across John Goldberger, and I saw pictures of his 570, and I fell in love immediately. I think, a lot of the times watch companies try and overcomplicate things because they think that they have to do a lot to impress people, but a time-only watch with numbers is what Patek Philippe made, and the 570 is exactly that. I decided that I would try and save a little money by doing the 5196P. The 570 is obviously going to be a lot harder to source and also a little bit more expensive. So we'll cut corners there just to check that box, I guess. And the last watch really is the watch that I fell in love with on Instagram. This is the Max Büser and Friends LM1. It is the MB&F Legacy Machine #1. I think the trajectory that Max Büser is taking MB&F in is one that is fulfilling his goals as a human being, and I think that's something that I respect a lot. I also like the fact that the balance wheel has been brought to the surface and it's marrying this 1700s watchmaking with a modern interpretation of it. I like the fact that you can see the heartbeat of the watch right as on the dial when you look at your wrist. I think it gives you a lot closer connection to the watch if you're able to see what the watch is doing every second of the day when you're wearing it. That is really an ultimate watch for me, and I would love to meet Max and be able to share in his stories and be a part of the MB&F family. So those are the 7 watches that I would have in my ultimate watch collection if money was no object. Like I said, I wasn't really checking boxes of having a chronograph, having a diver, having a beater, all that kind of stuff. I really was looking at watches that I really loved, and those are the 7 that I would definitely have. And I think it's a very unique collection, something that you probably won't see very often. And I think it's what's gonna make me happy in the end. If you haven't already, like this video, comment what your ultimate watch collection would be. Maybe you already have it, maybe it's 100 watches, maybe it's 5 watches, who knows, we'd love to hear about it. And if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that'd be great. And on that note, I hope you guys have a nice rest of your day.